Hey guys, what's happening? Nihat here with Film Comics Explained, and today we'll be taking a look at the Reapers, which are featured in the awesome Mass Effect games. The Reapers were essentially a highly advanced machine race of synthetic living starships that were the main antagonist of the Mass Effect trilogy. Initially thought to be a myth by most people, the Reapers would hibernate in dark space for 50,000 years before returning to the Milky Way to destroy all advanced organic life in a cycle that had lasted millions of years. The Reapers were created by the Catalyst, which served as their architects and overseers, and the Catalysts themselves were created by the Leviathans, who noticed that many of the organic races they commanded were destroyed by their own synthetic creations. To combat this, the Leviathans created the Catalyst, to which they referred to as the Intelligence, to oversee relations between organic and synthetic life. The Catalysts were programmed to ensure the continued existence of life in the galaxy through any means necessary, which led to them creating pawns that spread throughout the galaxy, collecting physical data from various organics in the cosmos. After studying the development of civilizations across the galaxy, the Catalysts determined that organics created synthetics to improve their own existence, but these improvements had limits. To exceed these limits, synthetics had to evolve and by definition surpass their creators. In order to avoid the problem of organic and synthetic conflict, the Catalysts used their newly created Reapers to prevent civilizations from ever reaching this point, programming the Reapers to return to the galaxy every 50,000 years to eradicate any progress organic life forms may have had. The first of these epic machines that were created was the Harbinger, and though the name of these ancient machines was unknown, they were called the Old Machines by a race known as the Geth, and were also called the Reapers by the Protheans, who were a galactic power that had been previously wiped out by the Reapers.
Reaper, a label created by the Protheans to give voice to their destruction. In the end, what they chose to call us is irrelevant. We simply are.
Essentially an amalgamation of billions of organic minds uploaded and conjoined within immortal machines, the Reapers functioned as both individuals and as a collective, much like a hive mind. Colossal in size, the Reapers were known to range anywhere between 150 meters to over 2 kilometers in length. The machines also bore a superficial resemblance to the cuttlefish species that was found on Earth, with a bulky semi-cylindrical body, a tapering plate over their rear, and 5 tentacle-like limbs that extended from the front. The core of any Reaper was essentially constructed in the image of the species that was harvested to create it, while the exterior followed a more standardized design that was most efficient to their purpose. When a Reaper fleet is revealed in dark space, you can see that although they all shared the same basic design, they had great diversity among them with regards to shape and limb numbers, among other subtle differences. While the outward appearance varied between each of the subtypes, all of the Reapers retained features of their ancestors, the Leviathans, which were an ancient aquatic race that had once dominated the galaxy. Now, there are many subtypes of the Reapers, but we are going to focus on a handful of them, beginning with the Sovereign, which is the main antagonist of the original Mass Effect game. The Sovereign-class capital ships were enormous Reapers that would use their spinal-mounted magneto-hydrodynamic cannon, which had a yield of 400 kilotons. At least 2 kilometers in length, these giants would obliterate all that were in the way of their mighty weapon systems. The destroyers were smaller ships that were no larger than 200 meters and made up the bulk of the Reaper fleet. Although they were much smaller, they still possessed a formidable capacity for destruction, with their main gun that was capable of easily destroying cruisers in seconds. They were also significantly more agile than the larger capital ships, which allowed them to maneuver with ease. The Harbinger was the largest Reaper in the fleet and the main antagonist of Mass Effect 2 and 3. It was essentially the largest and oldest Reaper in existence and was the controlling force behind the Collectors, who were warped versions of the Protheans.
Rudimentary creatures of blood and flesh. You touch my mind, fumbling in ignorance, incapable of understanding. The pattern has repeated itself more times than you can fathom. Organic civilizations rise, evolve, advance, and at the apex of their glory, they are extinguished.
The Harbinger would essentially control the Collectors via its influence on the Collector General, and would direct them to abduct entire populations of human colonies to process captives and use them to create human Reapers. During the games, it's explained that the Reapers were the original creators of both the Citadel, which was a massive deep space station, and the mass relay networks, which were mass transit devices scattered throughout the Milky Way, that helped form a massive network allowing for interstellar travel. This technology enabled ships to travel across the galaxy instantaneously, in journeys that would otherwise take years, if not centuries, to complete. And these massive constructs essentially existed as traps, which had all been part of a scheme to harvest the galaxy's sentient life in a repeating cycle of purges.
Changed. Yeah, you got it, Commander.
Heading to the tower to disable the communications scrambler. I have to get word out. Some refugees are turned into husks. Some are indoctrinated and shipped to the elusive man. Whoever's left is used in experiments.
The Reapers and their technology have also been observed to exert a disturbing influence on organic beings known as indoctrination. Any organic being who is in close proximity to a Reaper or certain Reaper artifacts for too long will come to believe the Reapers were correct in their goals, and as a result would do anything to serve them. Over time, the mind would continue to erode until the individual became a mindless slave that was no longer capable of independent thought. This indoctrination is permanent, almost impossible to subvert, and also happens to be one of the most insidious weapons used by the Reapers. Using this strategy, the Reapers were able to have dominion over entire civilizations through the indoctrination of a few of their influential members. Even without the aid of indoctrination, the Reapers were immensely powerful flagships with devastating technologies. One of my favorite sci-fi action role-playing games, with the awesome Commander Shepard who is determined to save the galaxy from the Reapers, Mass Effect is a masterpiece of world-building, storytelling, and combat. If you haven't played the games, I've left a link to where you can purchase them below. Well, that's all for today, folks. Thanks to all of you guys who requested we take a look at the Reapers featured in Mass Effect. Don't forget to hit subscribe and click the notification icon to stay up to date on all my content. And if there's any other stuff you'd like me to check out, please don't hesitate to ask. As always, it's been a pleasure. Nihat here with Film Comics Explained. Thanks for stopping by.